So in your pond at home, you've probably got things like Canadian pondweeds and, and possibly Nuttall's pondweeds. There's a variety of things sold in garden centres that are actually quite invasive if they get into wild ponds like this. So this campaign is just about knowing what's in your pond, and whatever you do, don't transfer it into the wild, and be careful how you compost it as well when you finish with it, because it can survive in compost heaps. So I can just hand one of those out.
I have such a duckweed stuff. Yeah. And it's got into our pond.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
There you go.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you.
Yeah. One of the things we've got very recently is some money from DEFRA for a local action group dealing with invasive species. So what we'd like to do is to get anyone who's interested together to form this action group and tackle invasive species in the Colne water area. And so invasive species, things like the Himalayan balsam I showed you before, and Japanese knotweed, which is very dangerous for people's houses, and it's bad for the river as well, and roads and infrastructure, things like that. But also the things on the Be Plant-Wise leaflets, sort of new invasive species that might come in and take over. I know on Lake Berwain they've got Australian swamp stonecrop, which I'm not sure how extensive it is, but it can be a big problem, especially on small ponds and things. So one of the things you can do to really help us is do small surveys of a section of stream, and we've got a survey form like this, where you just walk up a section of stream and record every time you see an invasive species, and you can use a GPS or you can just use a grid reference. You record the species, take a photo of it, write something about the location, how abundant it is, small notes about what kind of management you might use, and then just any other notes you think are relevant. And all that information can come back to us, and we plot it on a central database on our mapping system, and it really helps us get a really good idea of where these invasive species are within the catchment, and it helps us plan our management programme from there. We've also got a website, lancashireinvasives.org, where you can just put the odd occasional record if you see them. And you've got a...
Yeah.
Thanks.
No.
So here,
it's as if someone's put
done a
loads
survey of the
white
entire
stones in the
Well,
road.
basically
the whole of Colne water.
No, it's from Greenfield Nature Reserve down to White Bear Pub in Barrowford.
So you've done a huge section of Colne water, and you've mapped all the areas of knotweed that you've seen.
And all that is on bankside within easy 3 foot of water.
Yeah.
All of it.
So that's really helpful. That's exactly the kind of thing we need, and we can go out and we can start applying for EA permits to start treating that next year.
Yeah.
And that's really helpful
Do you
information.
have a team that will come out and do it? Here forces the water to back up.
A little grey wagtail around there.
Then they join, and this comes up dramatically. So it's rare.
So why is the house here isogonic? Is it part of the mill manager's house?
No. It predates that. It predates the cotton mill, which predated the tannery. I don't know. Possibly.
It has. Yeah, that's right. This is probably mostly natural erosion here. But
When it's in space, it comes down and down.
yeah, but this is also a stop crossing that the horses cross here, so they will really
Land surface water, which is why it overflows. So if this structure gets cracked or washed away, when we have a lot of water, raw sewage is going to pump up or bubble up and just
Go straight in.
tip in.